He was the wisest man who ever lived. Kings traveled thousands of miles just to sit at his feet. He wrote 3,000 proverbs. He composed over 1,000 songs. He built one of the most magnificent structures the ancient world had ever seen, the temple of the living God. And yet, by the end of his life, he had abandoned the very God who gave him all of it. This is the story of Solomon, a man who had everything and still chose nothing. It began with a dream. Solomon, son of King David, had just been crowned king over Israel. He was young, untested, and God appeared to him in the night and said something extraordinary. Ask for whatever you want me to give you. Think about that for a moment. A blank check from the creator of the universe. Most men would have asked for wealth, power, long life, victory over their enemies. But Solomon asked for wisdom. He said, I am only a little child. I do not know how to carry out my duties. Give me a discerning heart to govern your people and to distinguish right from wrong. And God was so pleased, so moved, by this answer that he gave Solomon wisdom beyond any human who had ever lived. And then threw in the wealth, honor, and long life on top. Solomon's reputation spread like wildfire. From the deserts of Arabia to the courts of Egypt, the world had one question: who is this king in Jerusalem? The stories of his wisdom were legendary. 2 women came before him, both claiming to be the mother of the same baby. No witnesses. No evidence. Just 2 women and 1 child. Solomon called for a sword. Cut the child in 2, he commanded. Give half to one and half to the other. The room fell silent. 1 woman said, yes. Divide it. But the real mother cried out, no. Give the baby to her. Just let him live. Solomon pointed to the woman willing to lose her child to save him, and said, she is the mother. Give her the child. The people were in awe. Because they realized, this man didn't just solve a problem. He saw through people. He understood the human heart. And this was just the beginning. He managed armies, resolved international disputes, established trade routes, accumulated wealth that made Israel the envy of the ancient world, and he built the temple, the dwelling place of God, with cedar and gold and craftsmanship so detailed it took 7 full years to complete. For a season, Solomon was everything a king was meant to be. But here is where the story takes its turn. And this is what nobody talks about. Solomon had a weakness. And that weakness wasn't obvious. It didn't look like rebellion. It looked like love. He loved women. 700 wives. 300 concubines. And not just any women, women from the nations God had specifically warned Israel not to intermarry with. The Moabites. The Ammonites. The Egyptians. The Sidonians. The Hittites. God had said plainly, you must not intermarry with them, because they will surely turn your hearts after their gods. Solomon knew this. He was the wisest man alive. He wrote the book on wisdom, literally. And yet, he married them anyway. 1 wife. Then 10. Then 50. Then hundreds. And slowly, subtly, quietly, they began to pull his heart. He built high places for their gods. He burned incense to Ashtoreth. He worshipped Molech. The man who built the house of God now bowed in the temples of idols. Scripture says it plainly, his wives turned his heart after other gods, and his heart was not fully devoted to the Lord his God, as the heart of David his father had been. The wisest man who ever lived was being played. Not by soldiers. Not by enemies. By compromise. God appeared to Solomon a second time. And this time, it wasn't with an offer. It was with a warning. Since this is your attitude and you have not kept my covenant and my decrees, I will most certainly tear the kingdom away from you and give it to one of your subordinates." And that is exactly what happened. After Solomon died, the kingdom that David had bled to build and Solomon had prospered to expand, tore in half. Israel divided. North from south. Kingdom against kingdom. The legacy of the wisest man alive? A broken nation. A compromised throne. And a book, Ecclesiastes, where Solomon, at the end of his life, sat down and wrote the most haunting words in all of Scripture. Meaningless. Meaningless. Everything is meaningless. This was a man looking back at the greatest life the ancient world had ever seen, and calling it empty. So what do we take from this? Lesson 1: a gift from God can still be wasted. Solomon didn't lose his wisdom because God took it back. He wasted it by refusing to apply it to his own life. You can know the right thing and still choose the wrong thing. Knowledge without obedience is just pride wearing a robe. Lesson 2: slow compromise is more dangerous than sudden rebellion. Solomon didn't fall overnight. He drifted. One wife became 100. One altar became many. Compromise never announces itself, it just inches forward, quietly, until one day you look up and you're somewhere you never planned to be. Lesson 3: your greatest strength can become your greatest vulnerability. Solomon's love, his capacity for relationship and alliance, was part of what made him great. But unguarded, that same capacity became the door through which destruction entered. Whatever you are gifted in, guard it. Because the enemy attacks at the source. Lesson 4: wisdom applied only outward, never inward, is hypocrisy. Solomon could see through everyone else's problems with perfect clarity. But he was blind to his own slow decay. Ask God for the courage to turn that same discernment on yourself. Solomon's story doesn't end in bitterness, though. It ends in a warning written with his own hand. A father saying to the generations who would come after him, "Fear God and keep his commandments." This is the whole duty of man. He learned it the hard way. We don't have to. If God has given you something great, wisdom, wealth, influence, talent, steward it. Protect it. Don't let the slow drift of comfort and compromise undo what God designed for eternity. Because the world doesn't need more people who are brilliant in public and broken in private. It needs people who are faithful all the way through. Subscribe. Share this with someone who needs it. And we'll see you in the next story.